Hello and welcome to the first episode of Pause It Play It, the 1975 podcast, a podcast where we will go song by song through the 1975's back catalogue. In this episode, we're going to talk about how we first discovered the band, our links in history with the band, and the 1975's first EP release, Facedown. It really helps the podcast if you can give us a like and a subscribe, and you can find us on social media under Pause It Play It Pod or searching the 1975 pod. If you want to get in touch, you can email pauseitplayitpod@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Hello, welcome to Pause It Play It. This is the 1975 podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dan.
How you doing, guys?
Alright, mate, yeah.
Yeah, I'm alright. No crosstalk, that's something we've got to go remember.
No cross.
But I want to talk!
Oh, yeah.
That's something I picked up off Alan Partridge. Crosstalk.
What's that?
I think that is the industry term for when two people are speaking at once.
Ah, right, okay. So I'm professional and all that.
Yes, yeah, and we have to remember, this is radio, effectively, so we can't be doing visuals.
I always wanted to be a radio host, but that happens in every podcast. Every podcast you listen to, somebody always makes a visual reference.
Yeah.
Literally everyone.
Yeah.
I know someone always goes, oh yeah, this is great audio content, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every single time.
True.
So why are we doing this podcast then, Josh?
Right, so, God, let's explain this. So basically this podcast is going to be a song-by-song review of every 1975 song, which I think we're all in agreement is our favourite band.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to go in order. And we're going to do the 4 EPs first as individual episodes, and then we're going to go through song by song every album, and we're going to throw some bonus episodes in as well. Right, so has anyone done anything fun recently?
Well, I had a facial yesterday. That was something that my girlfriend insisted I have because I've got a horrendously black-headed nose.
I have always wanted one. That's not.
Well, I can hook you up with a lass. But yeah, back bedroom of her house, it all felt very seedy. Turning up there.
You only spoke like a predator.
Yeah.
I want to do like a proper spa day.
Yeah.
So you do like the sort of the facial stuff, the cucumbers on the eyes. I want to do all that, and then the full spa. Speaking of fun, I am coming off the back of watching the 1975 live last night.
Yeah, how was that?
At Manchester. It's great. Unsurprising, I think that to say that this is a 1975 podcast.
Yeah.
But how bad would it have to be for it?
I know, for me not to say great. Yeah, obviously it was great. They
playing Rylander on the visuals.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because the whole new stage set up and everything.
Do you know what? Like, even though we've seen that stage a few times now, it's still like. And then the part where he steps up on the platform and then he puts his hand on the back of the stage and it goes in. And it's like the box that he steps in. That was even better than usual, because the sort of graphics bent around the box.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and then like Matty got in the part at the back, and it was great because it was sort of, you could just see like his silhouette. It was really good because the last time he did it, and it was the phone screen, and he put his hand on it, and then he like walked into the phone, which was cool. This one's really good. My only qualm, and this isn't exactly a qualm, but my only note is that they played
on
sex.
A conditional form.
It is, yeah. They played sex second, and it's weird because they played. So like obviously they did like the intro. They played People, and then they played Sex. And it's like, when that song finishes, you sort of feel like, oh, that's it now, that's the end.
I'll get my coat.
It's a definite encore song.
It's the end of the gig, but it was a weird placement. And then the encore was Love It If We Made It. I mean, great placement in the encore. Chocolate, again, it's fairly well known. And then like last was The Sound, which is, again, that's fine, but it's just a strange position for Give Yourself a Try. That was literally the second to last song.
You'd swap Sex and that one.
I would, yeah, personally.
Because it's still like high energy enough to get things going.
But it was, but I mean, like in The Sound, like when it comes back in after the guitar solo, like I've never seen the arena that like everyone was like jumping, everyone was like vibing, even in like the seats.
Yeah.
And you could feel it.
Sick.
Like I've never seen it like that. But I suppose, I mean, everyone's the sound last. People are going to be into it, aren't they?
Was that what I went onto the floor on?
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I was just going to say that. This one time, me and Dan and our girlfriend went to see 1975, and Dan decided that he wanted to be standing. We couldn't get standing tickets. Oh no, did we decide we wanted to be seated?
We decided we were too old and decrepit to stand.
Yeah, and we wanted to see the visuals a bit better. So yeah, Dan was like, I'm going to burst past that security guard for The Sound. Oh god.
They played the same last time, that's all.
Yeah. So yeah, it did, and it was very good. Very good to watch him burst past the security guard.
I'm like grinning with memories of it. It felt so good because I was a little bit tipsy. And I'm like, what's up to the security guard? I'm like, I was like, oh, you're right, mate, can I just boom? And I flew past him. And
You stopped before him. I thought you'd have just gone down the stairs and just like not even.
Because he was stood like right in the middle of the stairs, so I had to sort of just like pretend I was going to talk to him. And, like I was walking and just burst past, and then felt him grab my t-shirt, and I was like, haha, I'm gone. What are you going to do? Leave your post? You're going to leave your post and run after me?
Yeah, so speaking of live performances by the band, that's a nice segue into already professional. A nice segue into, because I've seen them 4 times live, which is minuscule in comparison to you two. Yeah. So, for a bit of background, first we'll discuss how we actually discovered the band. Mine's a kind of good story, but in terms of you two, it's not as good. So one summer in about 2012, it must have been, Matt, you came round to my house with a CD you've made yourself.
A what?
It's like one of those round things.
It's like
it's like a plastic donut.
Turned it with a gramophone.
Yeah, it was.
Like, look at this.
I tried to put on a record player and I was like, it's not working, why is it? Turned up and he was like, oh, this is this band I've been watching live, you should listen to them. And I put it in my desktop computer, because everyone had one of them obviously. Yeah, and they were good, I liked them, but how did you guys find them?
I think we'll let Dan take this one, because the reason I know them is because of him.
Okay, so I was in bands from being maybe like 13 to being about 20, and we saw them. We were playing like the same gig as them in a different room, which was a bit depressing. And
what venue was that?
Oh my god, it was like behind Affleck's. Do you remember? And it was like 2 rooms in there.
Oh,
Dive Bar? Is it?
Yeah, it did then get renamed.
Oh, Ruby
Dive
Lounge.
Bar, but it wasn't called Dive Bar at
it's
the
like
time.
right behind it. You might never have been. I think.
I don't know. I think I might be a little too young.
There was a phone box in there. I remember that.
That's a hope.
No, like as a feature.
Oh, right.
You're like, yeah.
It's not that far, man.
I thought we were categorising that with a CD then.
Everyone got off their horse and carts and went outside. So basically, yeah, I think my mate Manny was vaguely aware of them, and that they were going to be doing some good stuff, and so he was like, right, we've got to watch these guys, and we did. We played already in a different room, and then there was like, so it was a smaller room, and then we watched them and we were like, well, that was sick. And then sort of we spoke to them, got in touch with them. I think we might have played on the same bill a couple more times, but they were obviously way better than us, which is why they're headlining festivals and
Your consists of it.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, even after that gig, they weren't. I wasn't really bothered, but my mate Manny really like pushed us to keep listening to him. And in the end, I got on board. Was going on the MySpace. If anyone remembers MySpace. And listening to, they used to put up early versions of Sex and Chocolate, and like they were all enigmatic and like they never answered messages or had anything about them. Whereas I think this was like an era where like Tom DeLonge was releasing his like, what was that thing called? You had like a website we could go on and like talk to bands almost, like OnlyFans but for bands.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're on about.
Yeah,
this would have been what? Yeah, post Blink-182 Neighbourhood.
Yeah.
So he was
like the internet had come and like give everyone unprecedented access to everything they wanted to know about a band, and then you had this band like on MySpace not making any effort to communicate with anyone, and it gave them this whole enigmatic like presence. And
what were they called?
Drive Like I Do. Sorry, yeah.
Oh right, okay.
So that's what he was like, MySpace / Drive Like I Do back then, yeah. And there's basically nothing on there. They just used to take these songs on and off, and they were sick. So we ripped Sex and Chocolate off MySpace. Were we admitting to breaking the law? Okay.
I don't think we're too bothered by
and then like The City came on, an early version of The City came on there as well, and we were already like forcing people to listen to the ripped versions of these songs. And I think me and Matt were friends on Facebook, so I used to like inbox him and like go, like me, basically. We did speak a few times on there and stuff, and then we went to see him support bands, and I think he must have like recognised me from Facebook where we used to chat. And he came and saw us a few times when we were at his gigs, and there's probably a crew of like 4 or 5 of us there that used to go on a regular basis. And from
We were
there,
really
yeah.
sad.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was
we were-
embarrassing how sad we were.
We were so keen.
What do you mean, what?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah. Oh yeah, and obviously, so Matt was one of the people that was in that group, and I was like, listen to this, it's sick. And we were all like posting about them over their various names. So they were like, let's see if we can do them all. Drive Like I Do.
The Slowdown, Big Sleep,
Yeah. Talk House.
Talk House. Oh, and then, do you remember when we were like top stalkers and Denise Welsh had mentioned on Loose Women, oh yeah, my son's playing in Manchester tonight, and we were like, yes, we're on it, we're going to watch them again. And then we were checking all of the bands playing that night, and we suspected it would have been Academy 3, I think. We were like, but it's not them, it's not the Talk House, it's not Slowdown, it's not Big Sleep, it's some random band called the 1975. And we were like, for fuck's sake, we've missed them, we don't know where in this first city they are. I was like, seriously guys, maybe 1975 is the Slowdown.
Yeah, it was really exciting.
Yeah. And then as we were leaving Academy 3 that night, we saw some girl getting fingered up against a fence, which is really funny because we were like, that's hilarious, she's getting fingered, let's run down and speak to him. The first time I actually heard Sex, the song, was funnily enough in Dan's Polo, or possibly Fox. I think it was a Polo though.
Yeah.
Was it the black one or the white one? That's not interesting to the audience.
It sets the scene.
Yeah.
It was either a black or a white Polo, Volkswagen. And we pulled up, funnily enough, outside Josh's house to listen to it.
Really?
But you two didn't know each other at that time, I don't think.
God, this would have been ages ago then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we listened to it.
Was I giving you a lift there or something?
No, I can't remember. I think we might have come back from Sean's.
Which house?
Colbert Road.
Oh my god, so that's like 2011.
Yeah. Time.
That is ages ago.
Yeah. So we pulled up outside to listen to it. It was like the very, very original version of Sex.
Wow.
Where he says, I'm gonna fuck you anyway.
Yeah.
Just that's not appeared in it for a long time.
We'll have to like put that in.
I've not heard that.
Yeah, you'll clock after you've heard it that there's a gap in where he just decides not to. It's at the end where you can see which bit it'd be. She wears high tops anyway, and there's like a couple of bars missing where he just doesn't say anything in the actual version. I hope this is right.
Yeah.
And he should say, or he did say, I'm gonna fuck you anyway or something.
I think Sex was the only one I was 100% familiar with when we first went to see them together, support the Cape Race at Sound Control, which is now a car park, I think. It's definitely not a venue anymore.
No, it's student accommodation.
It's student accommodation.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they built the whole thing
it's-
down and built that big student tower. So that's a Manchester reference.
Yeah.
Oh, we should say we're all from Manchester.
Yeah.
As well, if it weren't apparent by our accents.
So if you're in the student accommodation, which is next to Oxford Road train station,
I think New Wakefield Street, I think it is.
I don't know. It's near Font. That's another
Yeah.
Manchester reference. If that's.
what a great place to be a student. I should fall out of your door into Font.
I know. Yeah, £3 cocktail every day.
Yeah. Well, they have to have a wealthy dad though to live in that one.
Yeah.
If you're under 18, go to uni in Manchester. £3 cocktails at Font.
Yeah.
Top tip.
Although with inflation, it may have gone up.
£3.50.
Yeah, because
I think
I've
just-
not been in a while.
Gradually, like reducing the amount of alcohol in them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it'll go into like £3 shots in like 10 years. And people will be like, this place got £3 shots, it's well cheap. So you turned up at that gig at Academy 3. Are you going seeing a band build as the 1975? And you weren't 100% sure, even if it was them?
Yeah. We knew the band. We knew the band that we kept going to see live, so various names. Now we reference them as a 1975, but we knew that Say Drive Like I Do had supported this headline act the night before, but we didn't. We thought maybe perhaps it was just a one-off, like because support slots change in don't they? So we went there, and then they were builders a name that we didn't recognise, the 1975, and we're like, oh no, it's not them. And so we were drinking in like the SU at Manchester Uni, and we just went, well, we've got tickets, we'll just go and see if it is, and it was.
And
we're like, yes! I played it totally cool.
I don't believe it. So you went to the first ever 975 gig?
Yeah, just seemed that way. Maybe, possibly. Might have to get George to confirm that for me.
Right, so for today, we're going to talk about the first actual 1975 release, which is the EP Facedown. Okay, so Matt, how do you feel about the EP?
It's a slow one, isn't it? It's not banger after banger.
Yeah, it's not.
But I think I just have to reference my excitement when I first heard it. as you've probably gathered by now, with me and Dan, Dan and I, to use correct English, followed this band for quite a while. They were very quiet. You couldn't get anything out of them. It was all a mystery. So then when they finally dropped something, I was just like, holy shit. And that intro just builds. I can feel the excitement now. It's pretty sad. But I just found it exciting. And I was a bit disappointed that it wasn't just 4 singles, if you get what I mean. But the 1975 we're on now, we know that is 100% on brand for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, a new version of The City as well. I'd never heard that before.
Could you tell me about the MySpace version?
Yeah, I only had the MySpace version. Oh, well, actually, Hugh Stevens played it first, which would have probably been before this was released, wouldn't it?
That's a good memory. Was he standing in for Zane Lowe, or was it on his late night show?
I'm not sure if Zane Lowe had moved to America at this point.
No, Zane Lowe did like loads of hottest records in 1975.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Right.
Was this not BBC introducing?
Yeah, it was BBC introducing. Yes, played. Yeah, the City. So that was a new version that I've never heard before, maybe. But yeah, loved it. I really like Woman as well. That's a great song.
I think it's weird because I didn't know him at this time, so I've only gone back and listened to retrospectively. But I think it's kind of weird listening back. I don't think this EP necessarily represents the next 3 EPs, if you know what I mean. Because like Woman doesn't sound really like much else the band put out, or at least they'd put out until maybe like 2nd or 3rd album.
Yeah.
Antichrist again is a strange song in terms of their like continuity. Yeah. Like Matty's singing at the start, like he's like an octave lower than like he usually is.
Yeah.
Like his singing doesn't sound like him. Obviously The City is a banger. And then but the Facedown song itself, I think that's great. That could be my favourite song on the entire EP. I think they've made songs like that throughout their entire career. And I think that sort of shows from the start what they were sort of capable of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, it was a real, like Matt said, a culmination. Is that how I pronounced that right?
Yeah.
The culmination of all that waiting, all that, them being so enigmatic. And like, I think I was like 20 or something when this was happening. And I really didn't, because I'd been in bands and stuff and we were so keen to get signed and make money and like progress things. For them to take it so slowly and releasing something, it's like, do you guys not want money? Loads of people want to buy shit, let's buy it. And they're like, no, we can wait. And like that, like I said before, especially like at a time when access to the bands that you're into was so easy on like loads of other platforms, that it was really mint. So then it was when it came out, it was like, whoa, this is sick. Because it was weird as well knowing that The City was going to be the first single, because we knew Sex and Chocolate from those early MySpace ones. We were like, they're obvious singles. Why? I wonder why they wouldn't have released those. And we'd heard this early version of The City, and it was like, what are they thinking?
Yeah, that wasn't a single. The early version.
And then obviously they'd redone it anyway, and it was great. But I feel like Jamie, the manager, he is genius, because they do this on every album. They release like the weirder, more out there song every time first. So The City, which was out of the songs they had then, was weirder than Sex and Chocolate, and Robbers as well. Robbers used to turn up on MySpace too.
But they didn't even save that till the album.
Yeah. So
that's some restraint.
Well.
Yeah. So, but that creating that frustration in your fan base, it seems dangerous, but it must actually be such a great idea.
Well, it's worked.
Yeah. Yeah. So he came out and it was great. I remember like black and white video.
Yeah.
I remember him putting a picture of that video being played on MTV on his Instagram.
Wow.
Ages ago, and he was just like, yeah. I don't think there was like a comment or anything. He was just like MTV logo in his face, and he was like, yeah.
Directed by James Booth, a childhood friend of theirs, I believe.
So they released music videos for every song on this EP. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, 2 of them were performance videos, and then 2 of them were abstract impressionism.
So like the Ghosts video and the original Sex video.
Yeah.
Were they after this?
No, they were before it. Ghost. Yeah. That was it. Was before this.
Yeah.
This was during that hype when we were chasing them around Manchester going, is this their name?
Yeah.
Are we going to turn up and find a random band or the band we want to find? That was the time, the enigmatic phase, when we used to joke they'd release something on a cassette that no one could listen to.
Why do you think they did that?
Yeah, I've got a cassette of it.
Why do you think they changed the name so much? And because like as fans, you didn't know, you wanted to go and see them, but you didn't know which band you were going to see because you didn't know what the name of the band was going to be. Why do you think they did that?
I think they just wanted to perfect their art before putting it out there properly. Like, I think that they just wanted gigs to practice, but just wanted to have just practice, be in front of an audience and see how it goes without building a following. I do think they wanted to avoid a following at that stage.
Yeah, because they weren't tweeting or anything. Like that was, it was like a secret basically that they were playing and supporting other bands. They were just going to build it.
Did get to meet Tim Healy and Denise Welch though. That's cool.
I remember I've never seen a support band gain like the attention of an audience in the way that there was a moment where they started playing She Way Out. On the wrong song for that, but like it just that riff just started playing out through. I think it was Can Be Free, and everyone shut up like for the support band. Everyone was like, "Shoot, what's this?" Like shush, and like it was sick.
Adam Hahn at his finest.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So for the actual song Facedown rather than the EP, even though the beginning is the same for both, I just love the opening. It's such a great introduction to the band, I suppose. Other bands may go all in, banger, listen to us, catch the attention, but I like this. It's just a slow introduction to what the band are capable of, really. Lots of synth, lots of reverb, multi-tracked vocals.
For a band putting out the first EP, it's bold that the first song you hear is a slow, atmospheric, like...
It's like ambient.
It is like... Because, I mean, obviously there's ambient influence in the music throughout the entire career. But for the first... And like you say, like, you were expecting the bangers. When you heard they were releasing an EP, you were expecting Sex, Chocolate, things like that.
Yeah.
And the first thing they do is is that ambient intro song. It's bold that is the first song, but even for like, as well, for a band at that stage, to do something with such high production values.
Yeah.
Like bands releasing the first EP I mean it's not the same level, but my band's first EP recorded it with a guy with a laptop and a bag in a room in a mill. You know, I did the guitars in my attic. Like it's to do something with that much quality on the actual production side of it is something you don't get in a lot of bands on the first EP. Yeah. And then to do the song like that is it's bold.
Where was it recorded? Was it recorded where the album was recorded, or was it recorded at Matty's house?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was recorded at Matt's house, and like that's just George and Matt's approach to recording, because we know they did Ghost in the same way. And stuff.
Yeah.
And to actually produce it's not easy, but it's there's no live instruments in it. Basically, we don't think.
No.
So it's relatively easy to record that versus miking up drums and stuff. So
it
makes sense that they'd be able to do a really good job of it without having to go and spend money on studio time back then.
I think the most difficult part would be finding those samples.
Yeah.
Don't know where they got those from. Interestingly, even though we do suspect it was a Matty and George production masterclass, Mike Crossy, I don't know how you say his name, he gets production credit. So he's worked with them from the start, it seems, worked through all the albums. I think he's pretty sure he's probably the producer on Notes on Conditional Form also. Interesting video, just Matty in a tunnel.
So we suspect is an underground station in London, is that what we're saying?
I don't know.
It looks like it.
Yeah,
let's go with that.
I think that's the look, but it's very quiet.
There's abandoned stations, isn't there? That's worth a Google if you're urban exploring. So there's a few stations in London which I think you can get to.
You can do that. You can do the tours, can't you? You can do the tunnel tours.
Yeah.
Before I did that and then broke away from the tour group
That'd be cheeky,
to go
wouldn't
in. But it's that, I mean, you know, black and white filter on the video.
Everything was better in black and white.
Everything.
That's the neighbourhood.
Yeah. It's so atmospheric, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he looks right sad, doesn't he, Matty, in that one?
He does.
Lyrically as well, I like it. It just hints at everything that's going to be, you know, his subject matter over so many songs, just like loss of innocence and like being it's like always drug references. To me, it's always like he's so self-aware of his like privileged, white, rich sort of upbringing. Like these guys are from Wilmslow in South Manchester. We're from like North Manchester, which is a lot poorer. So
There's no other way of putting it.
yeah. So we're sort of aware of their like poshness, really.
Big up the SK9.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like it literally. Like, she's rushing in your bed, like rushing being a reference to like Class A's. And you take drawers to sort your head, like so many references to weed in all his songs. I just think it's a nice hint at everything else that's to come.
I think with some of the lyrics, it can be sort of super descriptive and like they can be like super honest and real. Like, and I think this is one of the more like it suggests more. Like, I don't think it's as explicitly saying as like something like Milk, for example.
Yeah.
Where it literally says like she's doing another line.
Yeah.
Or whatever the lyric is. But this is like the drug references are suggest more than they're explicitly stated like that. And I think what they're really good at as well is switching, even like in the same song, switching between a really descriptive, like sort of real example to then something much more interpretive.
Yeah.
So then we'll come on to it when we sort of do the full 1975 album review. So we'll talk about The City, but we'll just briefly go over it now. Like, Dan, thoughts on The City?
Yeah, it's a full indie song, I think. Whereas like a lot, I know they make a variety of different genres of music in the end, but it really like feels like it could have been from a more like indie band, I thought, when it came out.
Yeah.
So it was a big like surprise to us when it was like different to how like the MySpace version that we heard, and it's just like an anthem, isn't it? The City. Like
It's still,
when it started playing their like sets with it was like, yes, we mean fucking business.
It's like they don't play it live anymore, but it's still so good. And like what is a good thing is like you hear the sort of in the various different recordings, you hear the improved quality of the drum intro, which is like it's good to listen to.
The drums are so good. It's so simple
to start a song with that. And like you get loads of songs like rock songs that start with like a drum intro, but there's just something about it that you're just like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
And then like like he doesn't sort of, even then when he does kick in that the verse, it's just like what, bass and like a synth in the vocal. It doesn't come in like massive, like a lot of songs would do a drum intro and then like a full band sort of thing.
Even the guitar part is just so simple, but so's a cake, you know, you got layers of cake, put them together.
So The City's like a good Victoria sponge.
Yeah, I'd say so, you know, I like the bass.
Yeah.
No,
of the cake or
yes.
the base of the cake.
Yeah. I like the cream. I like the jam. Put them together and you got yourself a tasty dessert.
You can tell Matt watches a lot of Bake Off.
I do.
So
it's for the sexual innuendos.
Yeah, the bass got distortion on it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's we've not heard that before, and I don't think in anything else really. It sets itself apart, I think, from the other songs.
That's hard to get. I feel like that's hard to get right because the distorted bass can be so like sort of, you know, Hysteria by Muse, for example. That is the focus of that song. Whereas like in The City, it is underneath, and it just but it just blends so well with the rest of the song.
I think each individual part of the song could be like the first ever song you learn on guitar, on drums, on bass.
Yeah, it's not. It's simple, really.
Yeah, particularly the bass. It's just dum. Dum.
1975 start song. I don't even know if that's like actually synth. Do you know what I mean? When it's recorded,
the bass,
rather than it being like I don't know whether it's like actual Ross playing a distorted bass guitar.
I reckon.
I bet he gets bored playing that.
Do you know why you don't play it? Okay, yeah. So we'll get back to The City, but then the next song on this EP is the potentially, you know, what's that word? Contentious. Yeah, let's go because they won't play it live, will they?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, I don't think he can play it live because I don't think he can do his vocal that low.
Think he can't be that low?
I think do you know at the start when he's in that octave that he's never in? I think he's basically. I think they must have recorded that with him basically just talking so quietly to get his voice that low that I feel like I'm making my voice low now. Saying that. But yeah, I think that's a reason why they don't play it live.
Because of the vocal?
I think they couldn't perform it properly.
I thought it was I may have misread, but I thought it was the connotations of the song meaning. He said he didn't want to because he said it was emotional. But I realised now I said that out loud, that might be just like an artistic thing to say. To song.
To go. Can't do it.
My bold prediction for this song is that they will play it when they headline Glastonbury.
Okay.
Because it's become such a thing, hasn't it? Like play Antichrist.
Yeah.
It's like there was one time where like I'm sure it was something like Wii, you know, like Wii, the games console, responded to Matty on Twitter saying something, like he said something to them and their response was just play Antichrist. So it's just become such a thing, and I think that obviously clearly they know it, But I reckon they're gonna bite the bullet and they're gonna do it when they headline Glastonbury. But yeah, what do you think of the song, Dan?
To be fair, it's not one of my favourite 1975 songs, you know. Even though it's getting like that big cult popularity, and the fact they don't play
It's
it
got
live.
a cult amongst the fans.
Yeah. It's because especially when we got this, we were still. I was like, you know, wanting it to be Sex and Robbers and stuff. So I remember feeling a bit like, this isn't sort of what I personally wanted. Whereas if I think I'd come to it totally fresh, I'd probably be like, whoa, this is sick.
Yeah.
But my like approach to it ended up with me being like, it's not really what I wanted from it. But yeah, I mean, still think it's like a cool song, but it's a real outlier in compared to all their music. I think I've already said this too many times, but having been in bands, like I feel like you sometimes get songs, and especially like at this point when they release this, they know what the plan is in place, right? They've basically got the first album written. They know what it's going to sound like, and so they're also fully aware that this song isn't going to fit. It's not part of the plan, even though it's a 6 song. So I feel like they took the opportunity to it's probably a song that they always wanted to make and that they'd had written for a long time, like the other ones, but they knew it wasn't going to fit on, you know, it wasn't going to be part of the story of the first album or later. So it goes on the EP and sort of get it out of their system almost. And it is sick, but it's just not it's just not them for me. Do you know what I mean?
I feel the same. I think the first time I heard it, I was probably checking my computer, like, have I got the right band?
Yeah.
Because the vocal at the start just doesn't sound like him.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different style. It's more like sort of, I don't know, it's like almost like a version like goth rock sort of almost. And even with like the themes of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know if there's much religious iconography. I can't think of any other songs from the 1975 with much, religious references in there. But yeah, the whole style of the song, the genre of the song just doesn't really sound like them, and it is great. It is a great song. Like, you put it on now and you're like, oh yeah, Antichrist is a great song. But I think even if you listen back in the sort of context of all the EPs, I feel like it's just indicative of the first EP, even being different to the next 3. Like, I still think, like, you said that the plan was in place, which is true.
Yeah.
But I still feel like even the first EP was more experimental before they even set on, this is definitely the sound we want to do. We're going to experiment with songs on this EP. We're going to do the atmospheric one. We're going to do the banger, The City. We're going to do the weird one, Antichrist. We're going to do the almost acoustic one in, like, Woman.
Yeah.
And then, like, we'll get, like you say, we'll get that out of our system. And then we'll just sort of, like, nail it going up to the album.
Yeah. I think it's got Joy Division vibe, particularly the song Atmosphere. I think that's the one by Joy Division. Opening vocals as well, that's very Ian Curtis. The depth of it. Yeah.
It does sound like him a lot, actually.
Yeah. I've yet to Google what capricious means.
Capricious means given to sudden and unaccountable changes of mood or behaviour.
And I remember as well, I didn't see this because I'm not Facebook friends with Matty Healy. You are, Dan.
Still?
I'm not on Facebook anymore. But
Oh, yeah.
He never unfriended me.
Someone asked him what the lyrics were to the Blood is on your hand and hands and
As well as your heart.
Yeah. I just remember you telling me that someone's like, what are the lyrics to this part of it? And he just wrote it back to him, and that's like a really cool moment that he's had with a fan, but
that early on.
Yeah, but a fan that I suppose he's probably friends with. He's grown up with this person.
Yeah. It's on Facebook if he's going back to him there.
Yeah. I think my favourite part of the entire track though is the swell on Criminals. It was criminals and liars.
But even that bit, like, because that's in the second verse where his vocals back in his like familiar register. That the way that he sings that line, it's almost like it's like not a scream, but it's like the way that he ends the word criminals. It's like he does like a weird inflection with his voice, which again, like, I don't think.
Yeah.
Is that on any of the tracks? Like, I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is.
I feel like to record that as well, from Criminals to Liars, he probably took a few steps back from the mic to do Criminals and gently came running up and whispered, and liars. So maybe that's why they don't do it live, because he'd have to look like a dick.
Maybe that is a good point. Maybe it is the vocals, because that will be a hard thing to sing.
Yeah. Lyrics? What do you think of the lyrics?
Again, I think that they're a real like departure. They're very like artistic and like stylized, rather than it being like a comment on being a young person, and the like it's more like inward looking, isn't it? I think he's referencing his family and stuff, and
Yeah.
there are a few songs like that, but it's not their overall like vibe.
Would it probably? I mean, I can't say for certain, but I feel like it probably would have been recorded and possibly written around the time that his mum and dad were getting a divorce. And I feel like the line "I love the house that we live in" is probably reflective of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not speculative, but
Well,
he would be moving out of that house, and his parents would be moving out of that house.
I think this. This isn't really to do with it, but maybe stick it in somewhere. Because I think this EP is reminiscent of a lesson that Jamie Oborn learned when he was managing a different band. So he was managing One Night Only. Don't know if you remember. Like Just For Tonight. And they pushed out that song, which was the clear single first, and they were a one-hit wonder. And I feel like Jamie sort of learned from that experience and was like, never again. There will always be a slow build. We'll like reveal things slowly, and you get like Robbers, which was available to him like when they very first started, and it doesn't come, and nobody actually hears it on an official release until that album comes out, first album.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that this EP really shows that like they've totally not revealed everything yet, and it's like you don't really know which direction they're going to go in.
Because if this is the first 4 songs you hear from this band, I think you get a different idea of what to expect from the next release.
Yeah.
Which I think is like, that's probably a good thing. It is because they've done well. But in that you hear this and you're like, this is a really objectively good, collection of songs. Then you hear the next one and you're like, oh my god, these are the, like it's like Sex, You, Undo. They're all on the next EP. Kind of hope that's right now. I've said it. But it's like, oh my god, they've stepped up so much.
Yeah.
Even in the short space of time from releasing like 4-track to 4-track.
Yeah.
So should we talk about the music video?
Yes.
Affirmative.
I think that's got Joy Division vibes too. Definitely watched Atmosphere, listened to Atmosphere and went, do this lads, I like this. The Tree, going A-level English here, doing that. To go back to the fact it's potentially about divorce, it's a family tree. Because he gets Louis Healy's younger brother in there as well.
Run around the tree, yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe he just had a day out of school, he's like, can I go?
Can I come?
Matthew, take your brother with you.
Yeah, the religious iconography, like we say, is quite obvious when they're in a church and Jesus is there.
Judging you.
Yeah. But it's different to the Facedown video because it's more of like, there's more stuff going on in it.
I've sort of mixed feelings about it. I feel like it's like deep, isn't it? With all it's like what do you call them? Time lapse nature scenes.
Right,
and
there's
stuff.
credits in that.
Yeah, really, I feel like it might be trying a bit too hard to be deep. Do you know what I mean?
A thinly veiled depth.
Yeah, it's. I do, because knowing that like that James Booth made it for him and he was pretty. I don't know whether it's I'm too like, I know that he was the same age as them and they were all just like kids really, and he wasn't like a professional video maker. I don't know.
Yeah.
You say that though, but you look at the quality.
Yeah, it does look sick to be fair.
I think that might be looking at it retrospectively.
Yeah.
I'd have been like 16 when this came out. I'd have been like, oh my god, this is so cool. This is like so it. This is so deep. And like, at the time we'd have thought like, this is great.
Yeah.
Looking back now, in comparison as well, but
I guess it's in comparison to really like pro videos now. It's like
2009.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Later song reference. And then finally, Woman.
I think Woman, is probably one of my favourite EP tracks, although this may be a recurring theme. Each EP will go, no, that's one's my favourite. There's a good chance it's just because it's fresh, but I think it's brilliant. I really like it. Lyrically, musically, sonically, going into that pretentious one. I just love it. I think it's great.
There aren't many songs by them that you feel like it's just like a vocal and a guitar. Like I feel like in the noughties especially, all bands would have that one song where, and when it's live, the guitarist would just play it on his own and just sing. And I feel like this was kind of supposed to be that.
Yeah. But
they didn't really go in that direction.
Have they ever done 102 live? Because that would be it, wouldn't it?
That would be the one. Yeah, I don't know. They must have at some point.
Nah.
They never referenced it.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Oh no, it has been. They have re-recorded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been re-recorded.
I reckon that's been done
Yeah,
live
live.
at some point.
Yeah.
Oh right.
No, not live at a show. Like as a.
Like a studio version.
Yeah, that is the correct term.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like a live session.
Yeah.
I like, yeah.
You're just too cool to try checking things out on YouTube. That's why, That's why you're not Chipmunk's biggest fan.
Chipmunk, remember him?
Chipmunk has a song where he goes, check the YouTube, and I like to say it. Nobody understands.
I would not have got that. I could not name a single Chipmunk
It's a
song.
terrible reference. I don't even know what song it's from, but I just remember it sticking out. Like, check the YouTube, what do you mean?
That's like that era of like N-Dubs.
Yeah.
Chipmunk.
Yeah.
N-Dubs played at my school once.
What?
Did
Yeah. Do you know
At
this?
Wardle High School?
No.
Did you not go to Wardle?
No, I didn't. No.
Posher than that.
Ah.
I went to a posher school that remained unnameless. But yeah, no, so some student entered a competition with like Key 103 to have N-Dubs come to school and play a set at like lunchtime.
Wow.
And then like, yeah,
Of all the schools as well.
I know ours, like it was a posh church school.
What was it, Crampton House?
Yeah.
Coming straight out of Crampton House.
And then, so they came in, did like a set on like the stage in like the school hall. I missed it because I was on holiday in Las Vegas. So
Rich.
I'm not
Pretty cool.
not incriminating my mum being away on term time. Hopefully not. But N-Dubs literally played in my school hall and I missed it.
And you bought a guitar while you were in Las Vegas.
I did. Yeah, that's the best purchase I've ever made.
That's an extra oversized luggage.
Yeah, I took your hard
Yeah,
case.
you took my hard
I'm
case. Yeah.
planning on doing it then. So.
No, I got it hand luggage.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, so we took literally like I don't think I took a carry-on. I think,
Yeah.
and we must have like stuck it all in my mum's. And my carry-on was the guitar case.
Right.
But they didn't they were a little sort of going, they were fine.
Yeah.
But then coming back, they were a bit like, oh, I don't know how I feel about putting that in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, it'll fit. And they put like a sort of special kind of sticker on to say like unusual like load size.
Yeah.
But literally it fit in the overheads.
Sick.
Yeah, it was great.
I hope it doesn't become a theme that I'm like the negative one. I'm like, it's not my sort of style of music. This one, do you know what I mean? It wasn't a vibe for me. I was a bit like, oh.
Yeah,
like,
it's not a vibe.
Yeah, like because Antichrist I did like, but it just wasn't them. But this, I'm just like, I don't know. It's cool enough. I can understand why other people would like it, but it's a different genre again, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
And it's like the lyrical content as well. Like is. I don't know. It felt very like artsy for me. I like him. I like Matt at his best when he's being like super self-aware, and self-referential. I think that's what he's.
Yeah. That's the term.
And so you see, it was a weird one for me. And I was just, but so we got the EP, we got the sick. It was sick. Facedown was sick. Antichrist wasn't quite them for me, but was also a sick song. And then this was like a strange ending to it. But when the next EP came out, it was like, woo, back in. So it's like, yeah.
I think lyrically it's really good in terms of like there is the metaphorical in there, and then there is the sort of like almost like descriptive and kind of like naive, like, you know, the line like there's something about your mouth. Like I think if you take that out of context, it can start seem like maybe like a touch sort of like it's a bit on the nose, isn't it? Like that's not really poetic. But then like in the context of the song, especially where there is the sort of like the really ambiguous kind of interpretive parts of the lyrics, I think that, you know, both sides of that combined, I think that's Matty's best lyrical work for me, is when he does both of them in the same song.
Yeah, I do think lyrically, I know I covered it, it's a beautiful song. I feel like it really paints a picture of this prostitute called Eileen. And she probably had a shit life.
Isn't your own call, Ali?
Just a minute. I like that she's got wallet photographs. I feel like that is just like completely on brand with someone called Eileen. Check it, you want to look at me kids? And yeah, that would definitely not turn you on. But I think my favourite line or reference in it is Chasing Dreams. For me, that really makes it hit home that she did not want to be a prostitute, and she's found herself in a difficult situation.
It's a dark song, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you look at
This one's on the house. I don't mind. Like if you don't know, it's about a lady of the evening. Like
a businesswoman.
Yeah. Yes, an entrepreneur. Let's build her up.
she probably get OnlyFans now. Second OnlyFans reference.
Oh my god, the Wolf podcast. How many times
We're not obsessed.
when you're recording it? How many jokes do you think there were about "Come on, Eileen"?
You know what? That's never even crossed my mind before.
He just did then, you know.
Yeah, but as a prostitute, maybe, you know, slip her an extra tenner and you can come and hide me.
I like it when he does this a lot in a few different songs, but I like it when he flips, like, where is it? The line, it all tastes the same, but something different about your mouth, obviously, and then, you know what I'm about. But I'll try and say that again. I like the line when it says, it all tastes the same, but it's something different about your mouth. Obviously, she means like the physical appearance of his mouth, but you taste with your mouth, and it's like that flip round. He does that in a few songs, and I like that. There you go, something positive.
Well, I think we should probably say as well, like, even when we're being slightly more critical about these songs, they're still amazing songs.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we're not saying this is the best song ever, this is the best song ever. And further down the line, there'll be a lot of that.
Yeah.
But putting it in context, I think, you know.
It's, we're comparing them to their other work, right?
Yeah.
And it's,
So for final thoughts on the EP, Dan?
I think it's a tease. And
it is a tease.
It hints at what's going to come, and it's band management genius.
Yeah.
In that it's things you think people are going to go one way. They've waited so long, and their fan base that they had was going to love whatever was put out there. But knowing that you've got like way more for them to blow their minds with later on, I just thought it was great.
Matt?
Yeah, I think that summed it up really well. It's the pre-drinks, isn't it, before the night out? Just warms you up. Taken in the context of all the EPs that build up to the album, you just gotta say it just fits, doesn't it? And that's probably not a great way of describing it. You've got, I think, how I would summarise it, I think, is you've got to judge it, for me, as part of the build up to the album coming out. So there's the EPs, and this is just part one of the build up. So it's good, but not banging.
It's the intro EP to
the next EP.
To the next EP. I think it's an experimental EP, definitely. And like Dan, you said earlier, it's almost like they got it out of the system before they went on to record more of like the stuff we're familiar with. I like it, but I don't go back and listen to it loads. I think it is probably the EP I listen to the least at the moment, although I do think Facedown is great.
Yeah.
It is weird to judge because it is different from the rest of what they did the next three EPs. And I think, you said the plan was in place as well. I think, they had every one of the EPs figured out. Like, I don't think anything they do is by accident.
No.
I think they knew what was going on what EP and when they were releasing it and when. And I think they also knew which songs were going on the first full-length album.
Yeah.
Like you said, they were sitting on Robbers, but they didn't put it on EP.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was coming for the album. So, yeah, I like it, obviously. Like, in the context of the EPs, it's not my favourite, but I think there's a lot of good in it. And that, just going back to the first song you release is Facedown. It's bold. It's like, what bands did that? What bands were like, finally we're making big, we've got fans, we're getting on like decent support slots. Let's release our first EP with an almost, ambient track to open with.
Yeah.
You can see Arctic Monkeys doing that.
Well, you tell me like View from the Afternoon, first thing on the first album. It's like, imagine they started with like 505 as the first song.
Yeah.
Yeah, they opened with an absolute tune of "This is what you've got to come."
Yeah.
Whereas 1975 built you up to it.
Yeah, they did. It's a tease. That's the best with that. To summarise in one word, tease.
Yeah. You minge teasing bastard.
Subscribe.
To OnlyFans.
So that was the first episode, boys.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. If you've made it to this point, thanks for listening.
I heard a statistic a long time, it wasn't a long time ago, about 18 months ago. I was listening to a podcast, and in the podcast they referenced how many people actually make it to the end of a podcast, and it's not that many.
Oh, right, so if you are here, well done.
Yes, thank you.
Also, thank you.
Yeah, for being as geeky as we are.
Yeah, so like we say, this is the first one. We've got 3 more episodes coming that are going to be the next 3 EPs, and then we're going to jump in song by song for all the albums released. Bonus episodes. We're going to do maybe some content on other bands if we're feeling ambitious. But it's
Other bands.
Yeah, remember when we used to listen to other bands? Like in 2005.
Your favourite 1975 rip-off bands?
Yeah, yes. just bands like who just copied them like everyone post first album has been.
Yeah, Post Malone.
So subscribe, like our content, follow us on Twitter. You can find us at the 1975 pod or on Pause It Play It if you search it on there. We would so have had a MySpace back in the day.
Yeah.
Our MySpace page would be so good. But you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Josh William without the vowels, so it's JSHWLLM. Dan, you abstain from social media.
Yeah, your only access to me is this, so if
So-
you want more negative, come back.
To get more of Dan, you've just got to just keep listening.
Yeah.
Or find his house.
Oh, 5 cents. Yeah.
Not again.
But no, next week he's way more positive. So, Matt, where can they find you?
At home mainly, but also on Twitter and Instagram, same handle. It's pronounced Junior, but not quite spelled phonetically as such. So it's JEWKNEEOR. So Jew, like the religion, knee, like the body part, OR, like either or.
Do you know, like, we don't have our like social media names aren't the best to spell out phonetically.
No,
I don't want to change it though because they look cool.
Yeah, I'm pleased with mine.
I think the podcast one's sick. I didn't realise we had social media. I mean, I guess I should have saw that coming, but
Yeah.
sick.
The actual Twitter handle is the 1975 pod.
Cool.
And then everything else is going to be listed as Pause It Play It.
Yeah.
So we're going to be back soon with Sex EP.
Oh right.
I think that we're going to be very positive about that.
Yeah.
Gonna get some titties in for it.
I think it's my favourite EP. So a little preview for next week, and it contains the best song, which is Sex. So again, another spoiler for that. Right. So thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you later.